Prominent Russian military blogger killed in a cafe bombing. In recent news, a prominent Russian military blogger named Vladlen Tatarsky was killed in a cafe blast in the city of St. Petersburg. Tatarsky, who was known for his critical views on the Russian military and government, was at the cafe with several other people when the explosion occurred. According to local authorities, the blast was caused by a gift handed to him by a woman containing an explosive device. The device was triggered remotely, and the explosion caused significant damage to the building and surrounding area. Tatarsky was a well-known figure in Russia and was known for his outspoken views on military issues. He had written extensively on the conflict in Ukraine and was a vocal critic of the Russian military's actions in the region. In the aftermath of the blast, there has been speculation that Tatarsky's killing may have been politically motivated. Many of his followers and colleagues have suggested that he may have been targeted by Russian authorities due to his critical views and outspoken criticism of the government. The Russian government has not commented on the incident, and it is unclear whether they are involved in the investigation into the explosion. However, some analysts have suggested that the government may be using the incident to crack down on dissent and silence critics of the regime. The killing of Tatarsky has been widely condemned by human rights groups and the international community. Many have called for a full investigation into the incident and for those responsible to be brought to justice. The incident has also raised concerns about the safety of journalists and bloggers in Russia, who have faced increasing pressure and harassment from the government in recent years. The Russian government has been accused of cracking down on free speech and limiting the ability of journalists and bloggers to report on issues critical of the regime. The killing of Tatarsky is just the latest incident in a string of attacks on journalists and opposition figures in Russia. In recent years, several high-profile critics of the government, including opposition leader Boris Nemtsov and journalist Anna Politkovskaya, have been assassinated in attacks that have been linked to the government. The incident has also highlighted the dangers faced by independent journalists and bloggers in Russia, who often work in challenging and dangerous environments. Many journalists and bloggers in the country face harassment, intimidation, and violence for their work, and some have been forced to flee the country to escape persecution. In conclusion, the killing of Vladlen Tatarsky, a prominent Russian military blogger, in a cafe blast in St. Petersburg has raised concerns about the safety of journalists and opposition figures in Russia. The incident has been widely condemned by human rights groups and the international community, who have called for a full investigation into the incident and for those responsible to be brought to justice. The killing of Tatarsky is just the latest in a string of attacks on journalists and opposition figures in Russia and highlights the dangers faced by independent journalists and bloggers in the country. If you like this video, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more international affairs videos.